Welcome back to the show, the business mastery for startups, scale-ups, and early-stage businesses with your host, me, Jerry Gadori. In today's episode, number 9, we're going to look at 5 things that'll sink your startup faster than the iceberg did for the Titanic. Now, I'm going to do this in order of most obvious to least obvious, because I think some of these are fairly intuitive. But I want to go back to the one that I think you'll be a little bit surprised by last. Also, please hang out to the end. I've got an exciting announcement for you that I think could change the destiny of some of your companies and build you what it is that you're looking to build. So first things first, number 1 on our list of 5 things to look out for in your startup is probably the one that most people think of, and that's lack of product market fit. Now, I've personally seen this many times at this stage in my career. I've worked with literally hundreds of early stage companies. And lack of product market fit is surprisingly common. And it's common for a couple different reasons. The most innocent is that you just simply misunderstood the need for your service. You built something, a product, a service, what have you, and the market just doesn't need what you have. Another problem here, and I see this very often, is that people spend too much time with their idea, develop it farther than they should, before they release it to the market and get direct feedback. One of the most important lessons to know in this category as a founder is that if you wait to release your idea of your service or your product to the market to a point where you're proud of what you give them, you've probably waited too long. You should be just a little bit embarrassed by what you're bringing out. Not that you shouldn't do your best, of course, but because you want feedback as early in the stage as possible from people who would be willing to purchase from you so that you can develop your service or your product idea in the direction the market needs, not the direction that you think. So this is not different than what a writer or a musician goes through. Very often you'll find that people write books or write songs, they wind up writing a book or a song for themselves, not for the audience they espouse to serve. So this is the number 1 thing that you see in our top 5 lists, and that's lack of a product market fit. The second one is running out of cash. Again, this is high on everybody's list. It's pretty clear, no more money, no more business. This one is usually exacerbated by the first problem, meaning that founder didn't go to market fast enough and now doesn't have enough runway to develop their idea. Or maybe they didn't give themselves enough time to pivot from that idea if it wound up not being the right one. Or maybe they hired too heavy too early, or they just didn't, and I'm going to save this answer for the next one, but maybe they didn't wait long or they waited too long, rather, I got that backwards, I'm sorry, to really start the marketing and sales cycle. So running out of cash, that's the second mistake or second thing that will sink a startup real quick. The third one, and this is where they start to get just a little bit different, a little bit outside of what people are thinking about, is neglecting marketing and sales. For those of you that haven't been in marketing and sales as a career, it's easy to forgive this mistake. Unfortunately, it's often fatal to your business, but it's easy to forgive. You see, marketing and sales are not events, they're processes, and they go through a cycle and a time. And different products and different services have different sales and marketing life cycles, meaning some things, for example, government contracting, have very long sales cycles. Some things like enterprise sales, very long sales. Why? You're dealing with a large bureaucratic buyer that has a defined process that's typically very long. So those sales cycles need to be accounted for when you're developing your startup, or as alluded to in the prior problem, you might run out of money. Now, not all sales cycles are very long, so some sales cycles are very short. This is a gross generality, but the smaller the ticket, the smaller the commitment, the easier the sale typically is to make, the less time needs to be spent in building that trust and credibility and moving people forward. Keep in mind that as it relates to new product sales and marketing, your competitor isn't usually your biggest enemy in the space. Your biggest enemy is usually entropy. You have no social proof yet. You have no trust and credibility built up yet. Getting people to make any action at all can be difficult. It's often said, and I concur with this, your first 5 to 10 sales will usually be your most difficult. Now, a quick tip here, this is where the friends and family plan comes in. It's a great idea to demonstrate your product or service to your professional network, people who will give you a shot and listen just because you're you first. When you do that, though, and I do advise that you take this path, when you do that, make sure you preface that with, look, I appreciate you giving me this opportunity as your friend or former employee or former boss or whatever the relationship is. I appreciate you giving me this opportunity. What I'm asking you for, though, is to give me feedback as though I were a stranger. Don't sugarcoat your feedback. It doesn't help me at all for you to say you like it, but you're not going to move forward right now. So again, preface with that person that you're okay with direct feedback. Make sure it's clear that that's what you're looking for. And don't be afraid to ask for the sale at the end. So number 3 is neglecting marketing and sales and typically waiting too long and underestimating the amount of time it takes you from first contact to signed paper. Number 4 is failing to hire the right people. Now, because of my own personal background, this is an area I really understand well. Know this, as a startup, in most potential employees' eyes, you're a high-risk employer. Additionally, you probably have fewer resources and can offer lesser benefits than what larger companies can. So it's incumbent on you to work on your employer branding as early in cycle as you can, to place that branding in the right places like we talk about in the Destination Employer book, and to make sure that you're doing that early enough to start creating engagement. You also need to use your founder superpowers to sell that dream on what your company can be when you're talking to these candidates. Final piece of advice in this space, keep in mind that skill sets aside, the psychological makeup of a person that's tailor fit to work the startup or early stage scene is quite a bit different than the psychological makeup and needs and wants of a person that belongs in a Fortune 500 company. These folks are different people. So when you're planting your employer brand in the places where your ideal candidates are, don't make that decision solely on skill set. Make sure that you're spending time in places with those people that have those skills, but that are also interested in early stage companies. Additional tip here, your founder and every one of the senior people in your early stage company should be building personal brands. Those personal brands are very impactful. Never forget, people bond with people, they don't bond with companies. So if every one of the leadership team is taking their personal branding seriously and talking about the exciting things that you're doing and talking about the technologies you're exploring or the skills that you're developing or the crazy new disruptive service that you bring to the market, if you're sharing those stories as a team, you're going to develop a following of people who are interested in your culture. And that will go a long way to help you with this problem. But much like marketing and sales, understand that attracting quality talent, never mind top talent, A-level talent, just quality talent is a process. And the less name recognition you have, the less that you can offer, the more work that you need to do in order to be successful in that arena. So number 4, failing to hire the right people. Number 5 is another one that's a little bit not what people think of. And I saved it for last because I really want you to stop and sit with this one for a while. And that's this. not adapting to change rapidly enough. So we already talked about how marketing and sales is a process, not an event. Hiring people is a process, not an event. Change management is equally a process and not an event. So if there's a change, a significant change in your marketplace, you need to give your organization enough time to make that change. A great example that's timely as of this recording is the AI revolution. Here in early 2024, at the time of this recording, it's starting to make a very meaningful impact on the market. So if you're not now considering how AI will impact your company, impact the structure of how you do things, it's going to damage your ability to conduct business. So understand that as the founder or early stage leader, it's your responsibility to be attentive to your marketplace and to observe any changes that are happening there, bring them back to the rest of the team and discuss them and formulate a plan to adapt to those changes. And much like the prior few, make sure you're giving yourself enough time for that to happen so that your organization can successfully navigate those changes. So number one, lack of product market fit. Number two, running out of cash. Number three, neglecting marketing and sales, not giving it enough time. Number four, failure to hire the right people. Again, process, not giving it enough time. And number five, not adapting to change. Here's my big announcement. At long last, the Destination Employer Program, which is pulled straight from the pages of the #1 best-selling Destination Employer book, is ready for launch. We're targeting the first week of April for our launch. This exciting hands-on self-paced program will take you through the 3 phases of becoming a destination employer, how to consistently attract top talent, recruit top talent, and retain that top talent. And it also digs deep into our leadership framework, the Engage, Fulfill, Grow framework, to form that talent into top producing teams. These are the types of teams that change industries. I'm very proud of it. I'm very excited by it, and I can't wait to show it to you. If you'd like to go over to destinationemployer.co and either download our Startup Leaders Guide or the first chapter of my book, then we'll be able to reach out to you when it's ready to actually sign up, or you can join the waiting list there. But either way, keep a close eye. We've got some specials coming for early signers, and we've got just a lot of general exciting stuff around the release of the Destination Employer program, designed specifically for you, the market that I've chosen to serve, to be able to bring 25 years of experience in helping hundreds of organizations like yours to attain the levels that they are looking to attain, including the startup that we brought from 5 people to 2,500 people and a 9-figure acquisition in 5 years. We can help you to achieve those types of results by going through our program. I look forward to seeing you there. If you haven't already, please give this a like and a follow. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content like this. I look forward to seeing you on the inside.